Hello and welcome back to NPC. In 2026, that still stands for Next Portable Console. I'm one of your co-hosts, Federico, and I'm joined once again by returning co-host in 2026, Mr. Brendon Bigley. Hello, Brendon. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back.
And we're also joined by John Voorhees. Hello, John. Happy New Year. Welcome back.
Happy New Year, Federico. Thanks. It's good to be here. Good to see you guys again.
Good to see you. We took a few weeks off. We hopefully, ideally, we recharged. We hope that our listeners did the same, played some video games, tinkered with hardware, the usual things that you do over the holidays. We can see that Brendon has a new setup. So you will notice a new background for Brendon.
If you're watching the video version, I've been spending the past week redoing my entire apartment, looking at everything I own, deciding what to keep and what to sell and what to give away. But part of that stemmed from needing a new recording space. And here I am. It looks very similar to the old one, I think, just from this view. But if you're sitting here, let me tell you, I'm getting some great light and I have a lot more room to maneuver in.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. You sound very, very warm and mellow. Natural sounding, organic voice.
I also did get some new hardware. I got a new microphone interface. I got a bunch of new stuff going on. So I'm feeling pretty good.
I don't know. I'm already a bit nostalgic for the old Brendon setup.
Yeah, you think I should move it all back?
No, I kind of miss it. When the sun hits you in the face in the morning,
in just a certain way.
A certain way.
Yeah, what was that in the summers when we're recording and the sun is shining directly in my eyes. Yeah, and I'm totally blown out. I look like I'm a biblically accurate angel in the morning.
Yep. Obviously, yeah. Pouring one out for the old Brendon setup. Anyway, we have CES is happening. We have a lot of things to cover. But
we're not there.
We're not, obviously. I mean, maybe the new setup is a hotel room in Vegas. I don't know.
Doesn't look like one.
I shipped my bookshelf to Vegas just for the bit.
But before we get to the news recap from CES and some of the highlights that are interesting for us, we have some CES 2025 follow-up.
We do, because you know what? Acer had an announcement in 2025 of what was, I think, the largest handheld ever, at least the way they photographed it. The thing looked like a tray table from a cafeteria.
Yes.
It was called the Nitro Blaze 11, and the 11 was for the 11-inch screen. And you know what Acer said at CES 2026? They said, never mind, we're not going to do it. We're not doing that. And I think they blamed RAM prices, which, I mean, understandable.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I respect it. I respect the move. I think this thing was announced and then was immediately dunked on by every single press outlet simultaneously, and every forum post about it was like, who would ever want this? And I think it was a good move to maybe take stock of that response and be like, let's not move ahead with this. Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, they're trying to be realistic. So we'll give Acer that instead of just... we see so many companies that announce something and then they let it just sort of disappear into the wind for the next few years.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to officially announce that it's not happening.
Yeah. There's also some John-related follow-up, and I say John because John has been our go-to person for the epilogue news.
Yes.
I know you've been waiting for this one, John.
I think I have been mentioning the imminent return or imminent release of the SN operator, Epilogue's basic, video game toaster is what I like to call it. They have the Epilogue GB operator for Game Boy games. This one, the SN operator, is for Super Nintendo games. And I think I've been talking about it since last spring, that it was going to be released imminently. Well, you know what, folks? It's finally out there. You can actually go somewhere and buy this. You go to a website, Epilogue's website, and you can pick it up right now. It's I pre-ordered it because you know what? I've been talking about it this much. I got to put my money where my mouth is and give it a try.
Let me ask you.
How many Super Nintendo games do you have, John?
I was going to ask that. Yeah,
I have a lot. That was that was a system like when I got back after a long hiatus from video games. That's the system I bought, and so I have I have quite a few games. This is $60. It looks like the pre-orders. This was like a limited edition clear one, It's
Hey.
sold out, unfortunately, but it'll be back on order soon, I believe. But I like what these folks have been doing, not just with the hardware, but with their companion software for playing the cartridges on a Mac or a PC. And so I think they've done a really nice job. And if you have a bunch of old cartridges that you want to back up, this is a good way to do it.
The Game Boy operator is amazing.
Yes.
I'm glad you convinced me to buy one. And actually, when I was going through all of my stuff, I found it again, and I was like, oh yeah, and I put
it's not
right next to my
something that
desk.
I use often, but I'm still glad I have it whenever I come across it. And especially since we fiddled around with doing things like the Game Boy camera, you can live stream a Game Boy camera,
Right.
which is bizarre and unnecessary, but fun too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Possible.
necessary. It's necessary sometimes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it, if only because I just wanna feel the thrill of ripping my original copies, still in box, of A Link to the Past and Chrono Trigger. So
Oh my
that's
God.
that's a bit of a humble brag for me.
Yes,
that,
it is.
That I have those.
one Super Nintendo game. It's back there, and it's Final Fantasy VI, like a Japanese copy of it. It's the only
Vegas
one I
room.
have.
You also brought that to Vegas.
I brought
see.
that to Vegas, believe it or not. I had to insure it before I put it on the plane too, which was annoying.
Oh boy. Okay. There are new Joy-Cons, believe it or not. As of this morning, Brendon sends us a link to the Nintendo Today app, which there's a whole this mini discussion here to be had about the fact that I think Brendon is the only one of us who regularly checks the Nintendo Today app.
All the time. Yeah.
News breaks from that app all the time.
And it also
Yeah,
breaks in Japan time, so by the time I wake up, the news is already there, which is nice.
So do you get a notification for these things?
No, I just check it every once in a while.
Oh, you just check it. Okay. So they are doing the first new Joy-Con color combo, purple and green, light green, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's. I was also checking out Nintendo of America on X, the Everything app. They're saying that I think it's in combination with Mario Tennis Fever. So that's why they're doing this.
Okay.
Oh,
It's like in
okay.
conjunction with the game. It's launching next month. By the way, I totally forgot about this. It's coming out in a month. And so
Yeah.
they're also doing new Joy-Con colors. Purple and light green, which, I'm a sucker for these things. So I'm going to get them because why not?
Yeah, I like all these colors. I wish they would do the neon yellow ones again. I had those, and then they got drift, and I had to get rid of them.
I wish they were cheaper. There's also
That
still,
too.
there's still $100.
I wish the colors were inverted. I just I want the color on the outside. I don't want it to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
an accent
too.
color just on the thumbstick, unless I have them detached.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they're gonna do that, I think they'll do that with the OLED model whenever that comes
Yep.
out,
Yeah.
or like whatever the first hardware update is. But
Yeah.
yeah, right now we're just getting little accent colors.
Speaking of Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons, there's a new Kickstarter campaign by Genki. That's called the Genki Grips, and it's a modular system, effectively building on top of the existing grip accessory that they had for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now they're doing a whole thing with multiple different versions of the grips.
Yeah.
They have like a traditional grip. They have a banana style grip. They have one for like with multiple ridges for each of your fingers. Really interesting design. They have one that is designed for multiplayer, so it's actually holding the controller like when you want to share a Joy-Con with someone.
Yeah, if you're playing
and
like
it
Mario
actually
Kart or
stands
something.
on its own when you put it on a table, which is fun.
Yeah.
And they have, so they're called Contour, Index, Banana. Dragonback is the one for individual finger grooves. And Handlebar, which is like console style. I think it's really interesting. The Boomerang is the one built for sharing. And they have a new mounting mechanism to go with this. They have multiple grip colors. They have a new shell design. I backed this immediately.
So did I.
The Nintendo Switch 2 is not a comfortable console to hold, and so the more options I have, the better. This on Kickstarter right now. I think it's about $100 if you want to get the fancy set with all the things, and it's gonna ship in May, I think.
Yeah, they have two shells. They have
Yeah.
like a unibody shell where the grips stay with the Switch screen, and then
Yep.
they have one where they detach, and then the back of the Joy-Con in the case, there's like a little like a slot and tab system where they slide up and lock in place. Looks like a pretty good system.
Yeah, yeah. Then we also have some follow-up in terms of emulators. Who's tried these ones?
I have not tried them yet, but there are a couple of different things going on here. One is there's a Pico 8 Pocket 8 app that works with your iPhone, and it's now become, it's kind of a collaboration between the Pico 8 developer and this person who is doing this as a side project. Now this app is the official iOS version for playing Pico 8 games on your iPhone. So definitely worth checking out and downloading. I'm planning to do that. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, Pico 8's always been kind of a weird thing to set up because there's like emulated versions, but then there's also versions where you need to like buy the Pico 8 player
version
officially and then like strip out some files and put them on things. So this is definitely the new best, easiest way of playing Pico 8 games on any device, because I think it's also available on Android as well, which is nice. So I'm excited about this. I have a huge collection of Pico 8 games I've been collecting over the years, so I think this will be really fun. I'm excited to play Celeste 2 again.
Oh, I didn't know that was on Pico 8.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting games. Isn't like Shovel Knight on Pico 8 and a bunch of other...
Oh, I don't know about that, but that seems like that'd be great.
Seems like it would. Anyway, maybe I'm misremembering. The other one is Touch HLE, which is doing an emulator for early iOS apps and games. So this is kind of a game preservation project. And what was really interesting to me about it is that they finally hit the milestone of they have 300 old apps and games that are now playable through this system. So, 300, still a fairly small number in the grand scheme of things. But I think it's a potential way to try to revitalize some of these older games that are no longer available, which I look forward to.
I just searched for the one game that I played obsessively in high school, and it is available on here, and I'm definitely going to get it again. I'm so excited right now. Kitten Jump is the name of it, in case anyone's curious. Kitten Jump. Oh my god. It was like my Flappy Bird before Flappy Bird came out.
Kitten Jump from 2009.
2009.
What is this game? I've never seen this game before.
You literally just swipe back and forth to get a kitten to jump on clouds.
Okay.
And you just see how high you can go. But me and my friends played it like obsessively in high school. We were competing with high scores constantly.
Interesting.
All right. I'm going to play this.
Okay, so that brings us to CES 2026.
Wow, the Consumer Electronics Show.
That's what it is.
TM.
It's obviously impossible to cover all the things that were showcased at CES. A lot of monitors. There's new fancy RGB tech for OLED monitors. I'm not going to get one. I'm perfectly good with my traditional OLED monitor. Robots were all the rage, it seems, like little robots that you put in the home. Brendon, do you want to put a robot in your home?
Absolutely not. Unless it's that one that just like shadow boxes. Did you see that one that shadow boxes and then it punches itself, like it knocks itself out?
I saw one that kicked a guy,
Pretty cool.
in the lower half of his body. That was nice.
I'll just have one like standing at the entrance to my apartment as like a guard dog, and that'll be it. We won't do anything else.
Yeah,
he'll just punch people you don't want to talk to.
Yeah, or it could help you with the moving of the furniture and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, those, Federico, shout out to Dell, who went large with a 52-inch 6K monitor that they're selling. And, I don't know, made my neck hurt just to look at this thing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of announcements, a lot of weird things. We pulled some of the highlights. In NPC XL for our Patreon members, we're going to focus on the mobile and iOS side of things.
Yeah.
Here we have a grab bag of interesting stuff. So X-Real AR glasses. They're doing a revision to the X-Real 1 glasses, the ones that I have from last year. These are called the 1S, and they're $50 cheaper, and they're bumping the resolution to 1200p. 52 degree field of view up from 50 degree field of view, 16 by 10 aspect ratio. It's an S spec bump, essentially, like the iPhone, what was it called? 10S. Remember when they did the 10S a
Yes.
few years ago?
That sounds like tennis. Yeah.
it is
It's got 1700. It's got 700 nits of brightness too, which I think is like 100 nits bump.
100
too.
nits up from before. They have this new feature that supposedly converts any 2D video content to a 3D image. And I read from people who tested like the XReal One S connected to the Nintendo Switch 2 that they could see some of the 3D depth effect, which is interesting because they're converting this in real time, and they're doing this thanks to their proprietary system on a chip that they have in these classes. So they're doing, I think XReal, they're doing interesting work, and obviously they also have their partnership with Google for proper AR glasses that are supposedly coming out with Android XR this year. That's a different project. In any case, the One S looks like a nice spec bump, I would say, $449. What is really interesting for me is the new XReal Neo dock. So this is their answer to the Viture Mobile Dock Pro, whatever it was called, and it's a portable dock. It's $100, and it looks like a MagSafe battery. But it actually is one. It's both a MagSafe compatible battery. It's a 10,000 milliampere hour battery that you can attach to the back of your phone or to the back of a console, like a Switch 2 if you have a compatible case, such as the ones that Genki makes, for example.
Right.
And they have support for DisplayPort video out over USB-C. It's going to work with the ROG Ally, with the Steam Deck, with the Nintendo Switch 2, and with your mobile devices. So with the phone, for example. Really interesting solution if you want portability from this kind of dock. It's obviously much, much more portable than the Viture dock that I have. But because of that, it lacks HDMI. So you only have USB-C as your video out option. It's going to also charge... when plugged in up to 45 watts. Otherwise, it's got MagSafe up to 20 watts. And in terms of video out, it goes all the way up to 1200p at 120 hertz with the glasses. So, pretty good piece of gear, I think. I cannot order one from Italy right now for some reason. I can purchase the XReal One S. There's no international page in Europe for the Neo dock. So,
do you know if it'll work with your older glasses, the dock?
I don't know.
I don't think they said, at least not that I saw.
Yeah, they didn't say anything. I think I saw somebody on The Verge saying that they tested the Neo dock with the Viture glasses and it worked. So I don't think there should be any issue there, really. But we'll see.
No, I wouldn't either, because these docks are all pretty kind of, I don't know, they're sort of generic in terms of how they handle video and stuff.
Yeah. So XReal, they're doing, I think it's going to be an interesting year for XReal, both with this accessory and the revised baseline model and the Google partnership for the XR glasses. So I still continue to think that some of these companies will be acquired, but not now.
I think they're trying to get back into the mainstream, I think. And I think it's a good sign that the price is coming down and the specs are going up a little bit because, the early models were expensive and just okay in terms of how they looked. And this will make it, more interesting to a lot more people, I think. It's still expensive.
We're slowly getting to a price that I am interested in.
Exactly.
If I can get a pair of these that is like remotely okay and is closer to $300, I would maybe start to consider them.
John, can you tell us about this charging case for
this thing is so funny.
Switch?
Oh yeah. This thing. I love this. This is. I didn't even realize this is made by Belkin. I didn't realize they already had a charging case, but apparently they did. But they've improved it because now you can put your Switch 2 into the charging case. And Belkin has put a little display on the long edge of the case so that you can see how much charge is left in the battery. I think it's a 10,000 milliamp hour battery that's in there, which, that's a great solution. It's kind of one of those semi-hard cases that zips shut. It looks like it will protect your Switch pretty well. And at the same time, you can charge it. It's perfect for traveling, I think. I'm this one I'm definitely thinking of picking up, but it is $100. So it's, compared to like some of the stuff that TomTalk has a pretty nice case that I use that's often on sale for like less than $20. But being able to charge too is a nice add-on.
My issue mainly is just the idea that, like, if you have, for example, the Genki Grips that you ordered, you're going to have to remove all that stuff to fit it in this case because it is built for the Switch 2 flat,
Very true, very true. It's not very tall at all. It's really just meant for this kind of the standard Switch setup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had a charging case before?
No.
Me neither.
No,
I
me
kind of
neither.
don't trust the idea of
Why?
I don't know, I don't know, maybe it's a silly thing, but like the idea of
It'll get hot and
that it gets
light
hot
on
and-
fire.
that the console is inside the thing that is shut close and there's a battery and power delivery inside.
True.
I don't know.
I
don't
agree.
know.
I think it's a little weird. And it also reminds me of when, for a very brief moment, battery backpacks were really popular. Backpacks
Yes.
that had batteries in them that you could use to charge all your devices, and then basically every airline started banning them,
Yeah,
which kind of worries me.
that's true. All right. Well, thanks for rating on my parade, guys.
We're saving you money, John.
Okay.
Think of it that way.
All right. Thank you.
Let's switch gears and talk about Lenovo because there's a couple of things about Lenovo that I want to mention.
Sure.
Okay.
Starting in June, for the lower price of $1,200, you will be able to buy a Lenovo Legion Go 2 with SteamOS installed by
Yep.
default. So Lenovo Legion Go 2 came out last year with Windows, was crazy expensive. What was it, like $1,600? Something like that?
$13.49.
Oh, 13, so almost $1,400.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be cheaper at $1,199. So it's about $250 less. And it's going to have the AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme. So 32 gigs of RAM, up to 2 terabyte SSD if you want that configuration. Same 8.8 inch 1920 by 1200 OLED panel, 144 hertz, VRR, but SteamOS instead of Windows.
Yeah.
I am very tempted. By this
Yeah, I'm
thing.
actually surprised you haven't bought a Legion Go 2 already. I really thought that you would have owned one by now.
Well, I
and probably
don't
put
wanna
SteamOS on it.
yeah. I was burned by SteamOS with the whole B-Link saga before the holidays, and I didn't want to buy another Windows handheld, and so I was in my mind I was waiting for the official SteamOS version, and this may be the one. I'm just a little unsure about what's gonna happen between now and June. Especially when it comes to Valve and the Steam Machine and all these things that are coming out this year. Do I really want to spend $1,200 for a Z2 Extreme, which is not a dramatic spec bump from the Z1 Extreme? All this to say, I still have my heavily modded Lenovo Legion Go 1 with the Z1 Extreme and 4 terabytes of storage. As soon as native SteamOS supports more devices, I could just flash SteamOS on that.
Yeah, I sort of feel like it's still time to wait on these things until we get to the next iteration of what's coming. Although, who knows where things like what RAM prices are going to do. I mean, I think you can kind of see at CES, one of the undercurrents is companies trying to find ways to reduce costs that will balance out the RAM a little bit. I think you're seeing that with some of the chipset things that were announced too that we'll get to.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to mention from Lenovo is this rollable concept. So it's a laptop with a rollable display that extends horizontally. So this thing looks kind of ridiculous when you take a look at it's a laptop and it looks like a laptop, But then, if you want, you can press a button, I think, and the display is gonna extend horizontally from 16 inches to 24 inches. Right?
Yeah.
This thing, I mean, take a look at there's a TikTok video on The Verge. This thing looks awesome and also kind of ridiculous when it's expanded and fully rolled out. And I also kind of want one, but I don't want to spend the money for it. So
I'm amazed that they can do it and not make it so top heavy that it just flips over backwards.
I mean, have you seen how thick it is?
Yeah, it is thick.
And also
that's
just
how
the
they did
specs
it.
in there, just like they packed a lot of stuff into that thing.
So this thing has, let me see where I can find. So it's based on the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i. It's got the laptop version of the 5090.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
There are no specs for storage and RAM. Obviously, this thing is gonna, if it ever exists, this thing is gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be super expensive. This is like a $5,000 plus computer, I would think.
Yeah,
I mean, this would be a very expensive computer.
A 5090 with a rollable.
A 5090 and all that screen.
Yeah, yeah. This is gonna be 4,000 at a minimum, but I think Johnny's right. It's gonna be a 5,000.
Probably. Yeah.
But you get a 16-inch OLED panel that expands into a 24-inch one. So, I mean, can you imagine taking this to a coffee shop and then pressing a button and having the display
Fire
roll
up
out
Fortnite, and like get all your capital G gamer cred going.
around people with all the RGB lights and the display sort of moving me like, and it extends. Man, I kind of
Put
want
on
to
your
do
gamer headphones, get out a controller.
I think you should do it, John. I think you should take a. We saved you money. We saved you
I was
money.
going to say, if you fund it, I'll do it.
Yeah, just invest it in this.
We saved you money.
You saved me $100, Federico.
Yeah.
With the case.
One Belkin charging case or this. They're basically equivalent.
Pretty clear cut from my perspective.
Can we talk about the OneXSugar wallet?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm dying to talk about it.
Yes.
So OneXSugar has a new handheld coming out called the Wallet, which is the first foldable gaming handheld. And
one of my predictions from the last episode of MPC from last year. Yeah.
It really looks like they just took the display from a Samsung Galaxy Fold and then built a controller around it. When it's closed, it actually looks pretty good, I think. And then as soon as you open it, it's like the most ridiculous handheld possible. It's going to be $800, which is worth mentioning. It has an 8-inch 2480 by 1860 resolution, so it's 4:3, which is probably going to be exciting for some people. I don't know what's going on with the rest of the specs, but I mean it's an extremely weird looking device. I love their solve of like the top part of it has a bunch of indents because they tried to put real like full analog sticks in here. There's a bunch of indents next to the screen for the analog sticks to kind of like fold into so they don't get rocked. But it's an extremely strange device. I really do like the look of it closed though, which is the only thing about it that I think is compelling to me.
Yeah, when I first saw those indents, I was looking at them. I was like, "What are those?"
Yeah.
And, are these like controller divots or something? But they're just to protect the thumbsticks.
My question to you guys is there anything better you could do with a foldable gaming device, like design-wise? Because I don't think it can really look much different than what they've come up with here.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know.
If you want to keep this form factor, I guess.
Right?
I guess this. I mean, I don't think the 4:3 aspect ratio works. But also, there are no foldables at the moment that expand into a 16:9 or 16:10 tablet, right? So this is what you get. I think it's look from my perspective. I think it's a pretty ingenious design. There was that concept from Samsung last year that it was more
with
of
the holes.
With the holes, and it was more of a clamshell like flip style thing
Yeah.
where when it was unfolded, it looked like a regular handheld. So instead of having these two rectangles that flip open like a book, you basically have two squares that flip open like a like a widescreen device. So maybe that's the other way to do it. The thing is, I knew this was going to happen because, like, there's only, you spend enough time following this industry, you know what are the ways to make money at the high end. And these devices are a way to keep pushing for the hot and new thing.
Sure.
I don't think it's necessarily practical. I just had a hunch that somebody would try because it looks new enough and weird enough.
I do wonder whether you could maybe make this thing a little wider, get rid of some of the chunky bezels, because there's not a lot of room there for the D-pad and the thumbsticks. Make it a little wider, but get rid of some of the stuff up top and have it close, but not close completely. Not have it be a complete mirror image of itself, so that the top half that folds down is smaller than the bottom half, and the controllers stick out to the sides a little bit. You don't protect the controllers that way. You don't protect the thumbsticks or anything that way. But I don't know. Maybe that's a way to slim this thing down. It's pretty chunky. It's
very chunky. I kind of love it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love it at the end of the day. It's like an extremely silly thing. But I as with everything OneXSugar related, I applaud the audacity to make it.
I mean, this is the same company that made the Transformer handheld.
That's what I'm saying.
You guys remember?
Did it ever come out? Yeah, it did.
What was it called? The One X handheld.
Yeah, what was that?
Transformer.
I'm pretty sure it did come out. Yeah.
What's it called?
This has a lot of that energy.
It's the Sugar One.
The Sugar One. Okay.
The OneXSugar One.
The OneXSugar.
It's the world's
Sugar
first transformable dual screen handheld console.
I mean,
yeah, because there's a link here to Sean Hollister's review. He has a hands-on with it.
I mean, shout out to One X for. I don't even want to say pushing the boundaries. There are no boundaries for these companies.
There really are not.
They're just
nothing's off limits.
They're just pushing. Incredible. Let's talk about the new Strixhalo line of chipsets, because one of our other predictions from last year was we were going to see more Strixhalo handhelds in 2026, and it sure sounds like it's going to happen because AMD did something. They announced new entries for the Strixhalo family of chipsets with the same GPU, but with fewer CPU cores to bring
really
the cost.
To bring the smart,
cost down.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's a really clever idea and they basically said, we know there are companies that want to make devices with integrated graphics like handhelds. These chipsets, they started as AI chipsets for AI workflows on desktop and laptops. If you want to have a gaming handheld, you're not going to need that many CPU cores, so we'll just announce a whole bunch of Strixhalo chipsets with fewer CPU cores than the 395 from last year. They're going to be cheaper, and we're going to see them in more handhelds. There's the 392 and the 388. Do we remember the core count for these new CPUs? So let's see, the AMD 392 Strixhalo. It has, they're still called the AI Max processors, which I think is kind of, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. How many processors do we have here? So the 395 from last year had 16 cores. The 392 is going to have 12. The 388 is going to have 8. And then there are also like these sub-families. There's a 390 and the 385, where the main difference is the teraflops, I think.
Yeah.
I think mostly you're going to see the 392 and the 388. So realistically, I could imagine, for example, some companies like, I don't know, A&E, for example, making a handheld in 2026 or 2027 that has base model is the Ryzen AI 388, Pro model is the 392, and Max model is the 395. That's essentially what we're looking at here. And They're still gonna be expensive. It's not like the 388 is gonna be like $100. It's not gonna be cheap.
No.
But it's gonna be cheaper because I mean, especially the 388 is gonna have half the cores of the half of the CPU cores of the 395. So it is gonna be cheaper.
It should help with energy performance too, right? I mean, it should help with battery life, which is obviously
it's
been a
gonna
big
run
problem.
cooler, and also that means you're not gonna need a liquid cooling for that kind of device.
Or a detachable battery. You might be
Yep.
able to actually put the battery in the body of the handheld.
So overall, I would say all good things from AMD on this front. And I think there's a really interesting scenario where, by the end of 2026, I think holiday season 2026, I could see some announcements from ANEO or, maybe even Asus for, if things go well with SteamOS and Valve, can you imagine a family of Strixhaler handhelds running SteamOS with this kind of setup?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Could be
Have we
interesting.
confirmed that SteamOS runs on Strixhaler yet?
No, we haven't.
It doesn't,
It
right,
does not,
John?
It doesn't.
Because
Not on
Bazzite.
mine.
That's
not what.
that's why
not
I
my
said
setup.
That's why I said
Yeah.
if things go well, because
Yeah.
so far they haven't gone well, especially for John.
But Bazzite's
yeah.
working, right?
Yeah, Bazzite's totally fine.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we move to NPC XL, what else is left on our list from CES highlights? What do you guys want to mention? You can pick and choose. We have some leftovers. You can pick one each.
I think I will pick the GameSir controller.
I
that
knew
think,
it. I knew it.
think, Well, you put this in here. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, but
it was bait for you. Yes.
it was. GameSir has teamed up with Hyperkin to make something called the X5. What is this? Alteron?
Yeah.
And it's X5. There's already a GameSir X5 controller. It's one of the controllers that telescopes and you put your phone in there. And this one has pieces that can be swapped in and out. It's modular. And on the one hand, I think that's really cool. You can kind of move the buttons to wherever you want them on the device. On the other hand, I just feel like so many of these companies, when I buy these controllers, now come with a bunch of little bits that I have to keep track of somewhere that I think is kind of unfortunate. But this looks like a really nice mobile controller. I think that I don't know what the price is on this yet, but it could be worth keeping an eye on. I mean, I'm already kind of deep into the MCon, so I don't know if I'm in the market for an X5 Alteron, but I would have been if it hadn't been for the MCon.
ANEO did this first, right, with the modular pieces for.
I think it was them, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was them. Yeah. Did it ever come out? That device?
That's a good
Did people receive
No
them?
idea.
Yeah, good question.
I remember the announcement, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll pick a thing that's actually not in our show notes, but I feel like would be a fun thing to end
Okay.
on. Did you see that PlayStation announced a car?
What?
Yeah. So
No.
Sony and Honda have a joint situation. They made a thing called the Afeela One,
Yeah.
and it's a new car. It's going to be $90,000, and it is filled with screens. And those screens you can change to adapt the theme of your car. So you can like theme your vehicle on the inside with a bunch of like Sony first party games. So you could have like a Horizon Zero Dawn car on the inside that has
God.
robot dinosaurs
Because why
walking
not?
around, or like an Astrobot car with Astrobot flying around with all of his friends.
Yeah.
But there's also an integrated PlayStation Portal inside, so you can stream your PS5 to your car as well.
They found a way to use those unsold units.
I guess.
Yeah.
When the Afeela was first announced, and they've trotted this thing out at every CES for the last 3 or 4 years. The very first one had a bumper on the front where you could display the video game you were playing inside. I remember them showing off like the Spider-Man game on the outside of the car on the bumper, and it was like, okay.
Someone's
Yeah,
going to buy it.
This is truly unhinged. Okay.
They're also
Yeah.
doing some wraps for their controllers and the PS5. I saw some brightly colored neon colors.
Yeah, they're releasing some new stuff. It looks like it looks like it was supposed to release with Marathon. Like they kind of remind me of the Marathon
Yeah, that makes sense.
art direction, but it's not launching with Marathon. I think it's fun to end with this car because there's nothing more portable than a car. And if it has a PlayStation Portal in it, then that's technically a portable console. That's all I'm saying.
Technically.
It is. It's the biggest portable console of them all.
It truly
Wow.
is.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Brendon.
Take that, Acer.
Yeah.
You're not shipping, but Sony's got a car.
John, please take us home.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for NPC. We'll be back in another week with another episode. In the meantime, go over to wavelengths.online to check out what Brendon's been up to and macstories.net to see what Federico and I are doing. And, of course, you can all find us on social media. We are on all the different platforms. Just look for our names there.
All right. Thank you, guys. See you
Thanks,
soon.
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.